Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Factorio here in our step-by-step to Megabase series. In the previous episode we set up our spider army in order to defeat critters but also to be more efficient at building. In between the episodes I fine-tuned this build a little bit and I just don't think I want to stick with it. I just don't like how it is currently arranged and I think it can just be much tidier. So today I'm actually gonna come up with an alternative design how to deal with that because I've seen something, a little concept that piqued my interest and that actually looked fun. The way we could handle this is by setting up two rails, which is just enough space to place a cargo wagon. Cargo wagons are interesting because you can actually set up filters, so only dedicated items can move into them. Then we could also set up some crafting machines. Now let me see, the next rail would be a little bit too far away, but we might also want to implement some beacons. So what if we did something like that? Ooh, okay, we might have to do it unevenly. That means the beacons are going to be closer to one set of the machines than the other ones, but there should be no difference in functionality. And to be honest, it might actually be useful because it gives us the space for a belt to run through. Let's assume we first want to replace the electronic circuit production. So we first need some copper cables. Now usually 3 machines for the cables and then 2 for the electronic circuits themselves is the perfect ratio. Now looking at this I can already see one problem. Let me try something else. What if we move this a little bit further up? This might actually allow us to get some trains in here that will carry the initial material. No, I don't actually think we can fit a wagon in here. You know, the problem is that I currently only have 2 spaces right here in order to feed in all of the materials. And even if we try to do this quite efficiently, we are limited to 2 stack inserters. However, if we had a train right here, then we could carry those materials like so, but we could input them much quicker. If we space it out just a little bit more, we could set up 2 wagons. No, wait, that's stupid. I'm just gonna go with chests to insert the stuff. Now I can have up to 3 stack inserters on either side here, and we would even have 2 more in the front, but I don't think they are actually necessary. Okay, that means we would have copper incoming from this belt, some more copper coming in from here, and then we have an iron line tapping in right there and there. Okay, let's set up the machines here. This would be copper and then 2 more electronic circuits. We can then go ahead and set up some more rails like so. And this should give us the possibility to set up all these cargo wagons, kind of chain them up. In between each of the cargo wagons, we have the space for 4 stack inserters. And once you actually place them, there's no way to remove them without removing the cargo wagon. Good, let's maybe fill this up with a bunch of modules and also the beacons shall be moduled up. Then we're gonna need at least 1 stack inserter per machine facing from the cargo wagon into the machine. And then of course we also need a stack inserter going back into the cargo wagon so it can be shipped up to the next one. Let's maybe do those at the bottom of the inserter, so they're all facing into the cargo wagons. Finally, there's one more thing we need to do. Let me see. Yeah, we need to get those circuits out of there. So in case you don't understand what's going on, we have the copper and iron going into the cargo wagon. Then it is being shipped up by the 4 stack inserters here. So all 3 copper cable assemblers can do their job. The copper cables will go back into the cargos and they will be brought up all the way to the top together with the iron where they are needed for crafting the electronic circuits. Finally, only electronic circuits will go here into these wagons at the top. Let me see if I can actually fit another one. Yeah, I totally can. And this would then be the end of the module. Let me try to power this up maybe. Good, now that it is powered up, let's just quickly check the ratio. We are getting way too many copper cables like this. The ratio is also a little bit too high. I think we can get rid of 1 speed beacon here. Let's see what we get now. Could I even get rid of another one? That's interesting. Now we're lacking 11, so that's not good. Speed beacon back here. Yeah, we basically have 1 too many machines, but I guess we could also put an efficiency module in here and change the ratio this way a little bit. Ooh, now we're lacking minus 1.2. That's interesting. I think we can take that considering we only really need an output of 15. Though 23 is also not bad. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna live with a slight overproduction of circuits. I don't think that's actually bad. Underproduction would be bad. but I really like this setup, and this way we only have to double it in order to get a full belt of electronic circuits. So now I'm extracting the electronic circuits right here and there. And of course, in the end, they also need to be extracted here on top of a belt. And let me actually do this differently, because then we are going to use this belt in order to move up here through the next machine. Yeah, I kind of like that. So we'll be targeting this spot in order to go up. And maybe set up an underground belt here. Okay, just some power poles and we got this covered. Now there's one more important thing we have to do, and that is set up all the filters. This here is going to be full of copper iron, but also some copper cables. So I'm going to dedicate a little bit of space to all these ingredients. For instance, copper plates. Let's set this up for 6 stacks and then 4 stacks of iron plates. That will be here. And then I'm also going to leave a little bit of space for the copper cables. By the way, you have to middle mouse button click this in order to set up the filters. So I'm going to dedicate the rest here to copper cables, and the rest I'm just going to limit. We can then copy this over for, I think, the first 2 wagons in each row. However, then the upper wagon should have slots for the arm plates. Let's do 5 stacks. And actually, let me see. It requires 3 copper cables. So I'm only going to do 3 stacks, and the rest here is going to be copper cables. And then I'm going to add a whole row of electronic circuits. And the rest I'm going to limit. Okay, that means copper plates are not going to be transported further up. So the 2 upper trains now have that setting, and then I just need to dedicate this completely to electronic circuits. Let's set up a buffer of maybe 2 rows, and the rest we're gonna limit like so. Okay, now I should be able to blueprint this together with the trains and hopefully also their settings. So this would be a train crafting module, and I just like how small it is and how clean it looks. This design idea probably doesn't work for most things, but I think for the crafting hub it would be fitting. So now with the blueprint, I should be able to basically daisy chain these guys, but only 2 of them should suffice in order to get me that full belt. So without any further ado, let's cut the iron and copper. And we might have to move a whole bunch of things, to be honest with you. Well, I guess mostly this production. All of this can go now, we're gonna do it differently. Okay, very nice. I can actually fit it quite easily in here. Yeah, I like that. Let's place it and then place another blueprint right there. Though this one here is gonna stick into the electronic circuit production. But there we go. Now we have enough space, like so. Oh, I like it. We can then send our iron and copper over. So this would be 1 copper split there. Get that line in here and the other one in there. Okay, and now we should be seeing this working. Fantastic. The filters seem to be doing their job, and we can see all of the inserters going crazy. So all we need now is access to iron, which we can have here. Get you in there and get you in there. Yeah, well, you look at that. We're crafting circuits. I don't believe it. And just like that, we can move the circuit production up. And then I guess right here, we actually do it differently. So we land next to each other. I can move this up here. And now we have 2 circuit lines. Well, hold on. We want to combine these into 1. Is that how we want to do it? All we have to do is continue this into here. Yeah. Okay, let's check out the ratios here. We are already using up 21 copper and 16 iron. But that still means we have enough oomph in these lines in order to bring them up. Let's split the copper here, the iron there. So copper would be going up and iron would be going up there. Okay, that seems to be working out, and we can now hook this up the same way we do it at the bottom. There is my copper going in and the iron can follow. Very nice. This would then be the end of the line here, going over, and I can have my circuit line back, which I believe was here. Let me actually make sure. Are these the circuits? Yes. I'm gonna quickly go back to base in order to grab the last of the trains that I require for this. Then I might actually update the blueprints here with a bunch of lights. I think I got enough materials to set up another Spidertron. Let me copy this over, and if we do this right, yeah, all the modules are here already, all the logistics is there. So all I have to do is make this guy follow the other guy. What was it? Control left click. So you follow this guy. Okay, wonderful. That's what I'm talking about. And then I took myself the liberty to apply the same principle for the advanced circuits, as you can see right here. So the first wagon is picking up the key ingredients. And I just noticed I totally forgot about the plastic and the electronic circuits. I will have to add them right here. So let's go with some plastic stacks and also electronic circuit stacks here, and then limit it to this degree. Okay, copy this over. Then the second wagon already has the plastic, the copper cables, electronic circuits, and also the end product, the advanced circuits. And this applies to all the 3 wagons here at the top, except here at the end, we are of course collecting all the advanced circuits and then they're being brought onto a belt. Now, this might not actually be the optimal position. I think I will have to make some more space so we can kind of have this next to each other, maybe even going down. So yeah, at some point I will have to redo this part. Let me just grab this and maybe paste it over here so we can rebuild it later. And then the processing units, I guess they can also move over here for now. And this should now give us enough space to deal with that. Now, what we could do with the advanced circuits is just rotate them around. And I guess we could get this started right here. Yeah, this is actually kind of fitting. That means I can take this apart, give me back those materials. And this would then also allow us to have another one here. Let's make sure it is far enough away. Yeah, let's place it right there. And then if we're lucky, we can fit another one in here. Not really conveniently. Maybe we can save a little bit on space here at the beginning. This is kind of a mess. Say we move this entire thing a little bit further down. I have to do it with the blueprint, otherwise the trains will not be placed. But we can get it started right here, and this should give us enough space. Jeez, I'm actually gonna move it one over right there. Yeah, good. And that means I can just move this line all the way up. And we should be able to combine these 2 lines together. This would then be moving over in order to feed the next systems, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. And with that, I also have enough space to introduce all the necessary materials. For instance, we need the electronic circuits. I'm gonna split that up right here, I think. So this is going over and into the first line there, probably. You know what? I wonder, could I move the plastic production up there, maybe? No, I think it makes more sense right here. This is where I'm gonna have it. I need a little bit of water, which is actually gonna be easy in this case. Then let me see. 1 iron line will have to go over here. That's for sure. Oh my gosh, I think I built it a little bit too far down. Yeah, we could certainly build it 1 block further up. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's not be lazy. Well, the robots technically do the work. Okay, I think now I got the spacing right. We have 3 modules. I think this one here is complete, so we can see the... Well, no, we cannot see the ratio, but it is producing about 6 or 7 circuits per second. And all I have to do is combine the outputs, right? Go through here and then keep going, Also connect you over there. Okay, now I can split up my lines again. You go here, you go there. Well, split you up first, maybe. Hop over there, continue. Another split with the copper. And how... Ooh. Now, is there a convenient way to split this? Not really. But there we go. This looks fairly clean. Good. Everything is hooked up again. Looking at this, I'm kind of tempted to push this back down as well. I mean, if we wanted to add more of these, we could... Well, we cannot really add 2, even if we moved it down. So I think I'm not going to worry too much, but we still have the 2 spaces here for 2 more lines of copper and iron if we wanted to. Let's now make sure everything is hooked up properly. For instance, I'm gonna need some iron over here. Actually, where do I need it? Just for the sulfuric acid, it seems. Next up, I'm gonna need some sulfur to tag along there. And that means sulfuric acid is being produced again. Okay, now we only need coal and petroleum gas. Gonna bring up my coal right here. That seems convenient enough. And so this can now be inserted here. Petroleum, where do I have it? I'm really tempted to directly pump it out of the tank somehow, like right here. Sure, I don't see how that would be bad. And that means we have now our plastic production back. Wonderful. I'm gonna bring up the plastic this way. Ooh, actually, maybe that is a bad idea because we have another slot right here that we could use to bring up copper or whatever we need. I think I'm gonna move this one over so it is situated here. Let's just do it. Go all the way up, and then somewhere here we have to introduce it to the machines. So let's say this line here is gonna be the copper line. I like that. It's not going to be extremely convenient with the electronic circuits, is it? Well, let's assume we want to split them up over here for now and bring them all the way up. They would have to feed the first belt here and the last belt probably. Then we can have some copper cables, split them up here. This would allow me to do something like this. Okay, that actually makes sense. So copper will then go in here and in there. And then finally we have the plastic, which would be splitting up here and also here. Here we can move over into the third slot, and we would have to do something similar over there into the third slot. Okay, I mean, it is not extremely clean, but it is pretty clean. Sure, let's do it. Distribute those guys, and then just the copper cables are missing, and we would be bringing them from all the way downstairs. Let me see, this is the line there, and we can actually hook that up conveniently. No, give me that back. You go up there. Okay, that kind of works for me. Now we just have to split up the materials in a similar fashion, though. If I do it exactly like this, let me see, do I even have the space? Wow, look at that. Actually, it will add up kind of perfectly. This is really interesting. Let me get rid of a couple of belts here. So I actually have the space. Well, come on, give me that. So if I add this right here, is this gonna distribute correctly? Oh, wow. Okay. I'm so happy this actually didn't mess up everything. Now I just have to make sure to actually split up the copper here and the plastic as well. Something along... No. Wrong. No. Oh, no, that was right. Never mind, we can continue this and that. Okay, perfect. Now I have to copy this over. And we'll paste it one further down. I'll probably have to remove a substantial amount here in order to be able to place it. Let me see. This is still in the way. Oh, no. Yeah, right here it's a little bit close with the plastic, but I think we can do it. Looking good so far. Oh my gosh, this is actually adding up, except no, I cannot input them right there. This is the problem. But honestly, this is a tiny problem, and we could solve it by just moving everything one block down. So why don't I go ahead and actually do that? Move it just one block down. Everything should still work, but I can push this over one block, and then we have what we wanted. Very nice. Let me just make sure I get all of the missing ingredients and wagons and everything, and then we can check out the ratios. But I really like this new system. It is much cleaner, and it is something I never tried before with the wagons. This is actually kind of an interesting approach. Alright guys, I now finished the first part of the module, and as you can see, we have the electronic circuits repeated 4 times now. The advanced circuits are repeated 3 times, and the processing units 2 times. I'm still making the plastic and everything like before, and this is the processing units. I had to bring in 2 lines, otherwise half a blue belt of electronic circuits wouldn't suffice. This is why this is a little bit shifted here, so I can have 2 lines actually coming in, and they're bringing out the processing units. I somehow managed to fit this all in here, and of course we had to bring along 2 separate lines of copper and iron in order to produce all of these circuits. Now there's still a couple of modules missing here, but we can still have a look at the ratio. And you can see we're getting everything as a surplus here, which is exactly what I wanted to see. If we really want to, we can even go ahead and repeat this. I mean, this is just a tiny portion of the crafting area that we currently used. But I think with this out of the way, and with the electronic circuits and the processing units at the ready, we should be able to get into our first few crafting recipes. My goal would be to replace the crafting hub completely from the starter base. So the more assemblers we can get rid of here, the better. And of course I want this to be niftily arranged, and the robots are gonna take care of everything. But yeah, how you like that? I like that much better than the previous design. I will be adding those 2 blueprints to the book so that you can download them if you wish to. But with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.